Well, hello everyone. Sorry I'm late. Man, it looks so dark in this room. I am plastering it with as much light as I can. Oh, there we go. Bring the light. Bring the light in. Let the light shine. Excuse me. Just got out of a shower, feeling good. Thank you, Joel Tilson, for being here. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Joel, our floor director, has been sick with COVID. Um, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Give me a second to just, sorry, I'm coughing. I will have some tea in just a second. Okay, what are we doing here? Getting me set up. I just got out of a shower, so my nose is running. This always happens when I shower. No, I'm not dying of a rare disease. I just took a shower. How is everyone? Hi, Alicia. Let me just clear my throat. Russia attack at Kursk was repelled by Ukraine today. I heard something about that. And wow, there's a lot of questions coming in for Joel from Joel. We'll go ahead. We'll do the impasse prayer. We will talk about my impressions of the funeral. I did a brief scan where I read people's minds at the funeral. So if people could like, share, subscribe, that would be awesome. While we wait for people to find the stream, we could see my friend Chuck a little later on. He is in Los Angeles as we speak. He got evacuation orders, and then the evacuation orders were called off. So we don't know. We don't know if Chuck will be literally on the road to try and get out of the fire, or whether he'll be able to join us at all. It's really quite a tragedy. And a lot of people I care about are losing their homes, and or they are in the process of losing their homes. And unfortunately, the homes are not just rich people's homes, contrary to what you might be thinking. It's rent-controlled homes in LA County now that are going up. Chuck is in a rent-controlled apartment building that now may have to evacuate. So we're talking about seniors on fixed incomes in rent-controlled apartments in West Hollywood and LA, possibly having to, I mean, this is just really with their cats, their dogs. We've got a lot of injured animals now that are in shelters. Yeah, so that's what's going on. In terms of the fire location, we've been watching the fire location. Excuse me. We've been watching the fire location. If you go onto the maps, we've been, excuse me, probably shouldn't have gone on today because I knew I had a cough. Yeah, I've just been checking out the fires. I don't know if other people have been looking at live streams at all, but trying to figure out just where the fires are and who I know that might be affected. Some people I have not been able to reach, like my friend Francis, who's always getting on me to buy property. And, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you're about to lose your property. You're about to lose all your property. And it just brings me back to that idea of, should we buy or should we rent? And a lot of the remote views had talked about, having cash and not holding on to things like property in the event that you have to leave an area fairly quickly. And so now we're looking at several fires in Los Angeles. You can see here, this is a rough estimate of just some of the fires we're dealing with. Of course, the Palisades fire, Pacific Palisades, beautiful part of the world. I've worked there, huge fan of many of the actors that live out there. And there are a lot of great people that live out there. Eugene Levy, amazing man. Just some wonderful people. Gutenberg, is that his name? Huge fan of him. And good people losing their homes. So we were concerned about this fire. And then the Sunset fire has me very concerned. And that is the fire. This is my neighborhood here. And we've already lost a lot of property in this area. And this is the one that has me the most concerned. In terms of where Chuck is right now, he's in this area right over here. So we're talking, it's not looking good in terms of Chuck's safety. I'm also concerned about the Griffith Observatory area. My former home, I used to live here and up in this area, and then I lived over in this area. Again, probably Little Armenia, great area. Loved living there. And this is actually where Milo was born, was in Little Armenia. And unfortunately, it looks like that they have evacuated. Over here, Los Feliz area is where Chuck is. And like I said, just please send your prayers. You can see he's just very close to that Griffith Observatory, and concerns about fires in this area. If you are in this area, please don't be a hero. Watering your lawn is not going to stop the fire. If you've got time, my first advice would be to empty out your car. I know that people are hysterical right now, so if I can be the voice of reason, as sane as I am at times, that isn't questionable, but I would have you empty out your car, every single toothbrush. If you don't need it, get it out of your car, because you're going to want to fill your car with emergency ready kits and the things that are most valuable, your animals, etc. So if you do have time, that is what I would recommend. And you are in this area, clean your car out, get everything out. It doesn't have to, just get it out of there. If it's weighing you down, if you can't fill your car with valuables because you got a bunch of stuff in the trunk, now would be the time to clean it out. But like I said, we are communicating with Chuck, and hopefully he'll be able to talk to us a little bit later on. Right now, he is taking my advice, cleaning out his car as we speak. He has not had electricity since 6:30 in the morning yesterday. He has his cat, Sasha, so we're very worried about him and Sasha. He can live here. I've invited him to come stay with me, just get in the car. He may have trouble getting out via the airport, but he can certainly hop in his car and stay in Portland. We can host him here and get him settled here if worse comes to worse. But yeah, if you are in the Los Angeles area, you can go ahead and just share with us what you're experiencing. I know that Judy Jamerson is, for the time being, safe. We heard from her, but all we can do is just send our prayers. And the Santa Ana winds, the Santa Ana winds pick up. It goes back to, we did a remote view about 5 years ago on the death of Hollywood, and the meditation on Hollywood. Could Hollywood survive? Because it felt like everything was happening at once. Global warming, out of control fires, but also people moving to other forms of entertainment. People were no longer making movies in big studios anymore, which was commercial real estate tanked. Nobody went to malls anymore. And so one of the working theories is that if you were a commercial real estate owner in any of these areas, you might theoretically want to take advantage of the situation by torching your commercial real estate because it's not selling anymore. So if you had a dead stretch of property, say on Sunset Boulevard, then great solution. All you have to do is nobody will know the difference if you're trying to get rid of that commercial real estate, is you just set it ablaze. And let me see if I can show you guys. Hold on. Let me see, escape there. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of this film footage. This, there were still good deals. People were still able to sell their real estate in Los Angeles, but it was the commercial real estate that had tanked. And so one of the working theories as a remote viewer, when I was asked as a remote viewer to profile the fires, and I felt like, people were barbecuing salmon, and then an ember gets loose onto the Santa Ana winds, and it was an innocent mistake. I think someone was probably making salmon barbecue or something like that. Mesquite smells great, tastes great. Looked like there was some kind of an accident that happened in Pasadena, and it was not intentional. However, some of these fires are starting to feel to me like arson, possibly arson intended towards commercial real estate, which people could not afford to maintain because there was nobody there to rent the commercial real estate. So this is one of the working hypotheses I felt as I went into this energy. Just better open up my notes so I don't get lost here, because there's a lot that we're covering today for this channel. Yeah, here it is. Okay, great. So if say you owned millions and millions of dollars of this commercial real estate that was all vacant, now you're going to be at least able to get you're going to be able to get your insurance. So that's one example of this idea that maybe what we're looking at is somebody who takes it upon themselves to, well, I couldn't sell this, and how much money does it cost to pay a couple of people to go and torch a building? So that's the other conversation that's coming up. And one conversation that I would like to mention also, that let me show you another. The number one reason why Elon Musk and a lot of libertarians were leaving California was that they claimed that building codes, there was too much regulation. And so it took forever for anybody to build anything. And so the solution would be that you create, you take advantage of this disaster, because people are going to want to build, and they're going to want, is that the Getty? And they're going to want to build as rapidly as possible. And so this is your opportunity to start pushing to remove some of those regulations that we've been talking about for the last couple of months. That was one of the things that led Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and many of the libertarians out of California to back the Republicans, as they wanted to remove some of these federal regulations and these state regulations that were blocking development in California. So if you have a natural disaster like this, where desperate people need, need a place to live, then you're able to pass legislation that removes all of those obstacles to building. This also brings up the issue of people like Elon Musk investing in cheap, eco-friendly houses that can be put up, $50,000, you can have your own 250 square, 500 square foot, depending on how much space you want, mobile home that's, excuse me, eco-friendly. And who is there waiting to get that contract? Well, you have those boxables, and Elon Musk and Tesla has been investing in boxables. So this is a great opportunity for them to sell those boxables and get those FEMA contracts. So these are some of the theories that are going around about what's happened, that, you know, you started off with an accidental brush fire from a salmon barbecue, and the next thing you know, you have a situation where opportunists are coming in and doing whatever. Hello, Chuck.
Hi, hey,
You are in your car.
calling you from the war zone here.
Tell us what's going
Sorry
on.
to interrupt you. I don't know what point you were
No,
at.
we've been waiting
I
for
just
you.
kept
Are you
trying with this stream until I could get through.
great?
You wanted me to join in. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you okay? Yes.
In the moment, I am very, very frantic, very nervous. It's starting to get dark here. I have no electricity. I have one little flashlight, one candle. I need to pack bags, get my cat stuff together, because we had a warning, an emphasis on a warning for evacuation. And then they rescinded it about half an hour later and said, oh, it was a mistake. This was meant for another district. But it's not impossible. We could get a real evacuation warning as the night goes on. Who knows where these fires are going to head?
Well, I'm concerned.
Last night that happened. I thought I was safe. And then about 9 p.m., I had a bulletin on my phone saying that the people in the Hollywood Hills were having to evacuate. But fortunately, they got that fire under control very quickly. And I'm hoping it'll be a similar situation here.
And how is the air quality?
So horrible. Dark orange. I've had a headache all day. My eyes, my throat have been burning. My car right now is just covered in ashes.
Can you go stay with friends?
There's no one in this city who's not being affected.
Can you go stay with friends? Do you want?
I'm sorry?
Are you coming up to Portland, or can you stay with friends? I mean, do you know what you're going to be doing?
Well, I have friends. I have friends. Like, I have friends in the Palm Springs area. That shouldn't be a problem. You've been so gracious, Whimsy. Thank you so much for your offers. And who knows if it might come down to having to accept your offer, but I think I'll be okay for the time being. And it's quite possible I won't even have to evacuate tonight, but I've just got to prepare.
Right. And are you?
The worst part is not having electricity.
Well, why don't you go and buy yourself some candles? Do you want me to find a place where you can go get some candles?
Wait, I'm sorry, your signal broke.
Can you get some candles?
I couldn't hear you. What did you say? Oh, I'm going to get some more candles. The problem is, you go into the grocery stores and things, everything is sold out. I had to go to several places today just to find another flashlight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everything is selling out.
Okay, well, I know that you're in an emergency, and we don't want to take your time, you know, and I know that you're.
Well, I don't mind being here a few minutes if you have questions.
So are you cleaning out your car? I told you to clean out your car.
Well, remember, I have a tiny little Miata. You said clear out all space. There's like zero space in this car. That's the problem. And the trunk is about the size of a glove box. So there's only so much I can do. But yeah, I do have it cleared out. And I've got to figure out, what I'm going to do with my cat and everything. That's probably the biggest thing.
I have light die on me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize
for these primitive
if you
conditions.
if you have to go to Palm Springs, there's no place to keep the cat. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, that's not the problem. I'm just talking about my little itty bitty car. There's very little space in here as it is, and then I have to put a litter box in here and put my cat in here and her food and water. There's not much I'm going to be able to take with me.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll do it. I'll do what I have to do.
Have you driven around the city at all and seen the devastation?
Where?
Have you been able to see any of it? Oh, I think we're going to lose Chuck. The signal is really bad. So Chuck, we're going to let you go.
Have I been able to what?
You're sideways. We just wanted to know if you had seen anything. Yeah, we're going to let you go because we're losing your signal. Chuck,
I'm sorry,
we
your
love
signal
you.
is breaking up all over the place. I can't hear.
It's okay. We love
hello?
you.
What did
Stay
you say?
safe. We said goodbye and stay
too.
safe. We love you. Okay, stay safe. All right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love you too. And I appreciate all your concerns and prayers. I wanted to get on here for a few minutes just to let everyone know I'm okay. And Whimsy, thank you. Thank you for everything. You've just been so gracious to me, so kind. That means the world to me.
Right.
Yeah, and hopefully
no
this will
problem.
pass. Right now, I'm just going to say I've mostly been inconvenienced. There are people who have actually lost their homes and their businesses. It's much, much worse for me. For myself, it's just the discomfort of having no electricity. This is going to be my second night, and I'm told it could go on a third or a fourth. But I will adapt.
So cold coffee It'll
be okay.
Right? Cold brew coffee. And maybe ask a neighbor.
Yeah. Oh,
if
I
they've got
missed my coffee in the morning. I can't brew my coffee right now.
Well, you can do it on tea lights.
It's just inconveniences. That's all it is. I'm lucky compared to many people in this city. So much tragedy. Oh, did you see where the things like the Will Rogers house burned down?
I didn't know Will Rogers. I know that a lot of really great people,
Well, it was
really good people have lost their home, like Eugene Levy, who, he's the cream de la cream,
Yeah, I know.
He lost his home, Gutenberg. Yeah. James Woods lost it. It's just horrible.
I did. I saw that.
So,
yeah. So as long as I think the biggest danger is and the embers flying, and thankfully the winds seem to have calmed down. And as long as the embers don't travel this way, I think we'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, dear.
I didn't want to interrupt your show, Whimsy. Sorry to jump in.
Well, we will let you go. Do what you have to do, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Okay, buddy?
See you soon. Hopefully see you on Tuesday.
Yes. All right. Bye, love.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so that was Chuck from the front line in Los Angeles, and hopefully we'll continue to check in on him. For now, he's safe. Thank God he doesn't have to evacuate. So I'm really relieved to hear that because, would just be a nightmare if he lost his home. Let me see if I got this happening here. Okay, this is happening. Okay, awesome. All right, great. Okay, so that was basically, when I scanned it and when I tried to get information on the LA fire, and I was asked, did I feel like this could have been arson? Did I feel that we were looking at potentially arson? I did not feel that the initial fire was an arson. However, the concern I had was that we were looking at potentially copycats, and that some of those copycats may have been people. It may have been targeting commercial real estate that had tanked in the last couple of years, and unfortunately was not selling. People were no longer going to strip malls, and so whole entire areas of Sunset Boulevard, for example, the Sunset Fire, very close to that area, but whole areas of Sunset Boulevard, for example, are becoming ghost-like in the sense that we don't see a lot of people shopping in those strip malls anymore. And so if you are the person who owns that commercial real estate, this is all commercial real estate that's gone under. So now you'll be able to at least collect the insurance if you weren't able to collect the rents. Is this a working hypothesis? Did this really happen? Maybe it didn't happen, but that's certainly, given human nature, there may be people that are trying to think on the bright side because they were not able to sell the commercial, get anybody in there to buy it and or to rent. And so it certainly was costing Californians a lot of money. Wow. So what do you guys think? Arson, a combination? I think it might be a combination. I'll let you, excuse me. I will let you guys decide for yourself. Yeah, there we go. What you guys think. All right, we're going to go ahead. We'll do the end pass prayer. We will blitz, blitz, blitz away. We can talk a little bit about the funeral. I was able to resonate and vibrate. I tried to resonate, vibrate with the people that attended the funeral and try and get into their thoughts, try and get into their conversations. It was really interesting to get into their thoughts and get into their conversations. One of the interesting people was Barack Obama talking with Donald Trump, excuse me, and trying to get along with Trump, and a feeling that he had, that Obama had, of maybe trying to have it be less of a hostile environment because the people have spoken, this is the president-elect, and to try and create some sanity. So it was interesting to pick up on the fact that Obama was trying to bring in an element of just cooling the heat, because there's so much heat at this time because of all the fighting that was going on. So I felt that he was very good at that, Obama. Was trying to come in and because of this animosity that the Democrats have. So it was good that they had him sitting there. I thought that was great. The energy I felt from Trump was that he just wants to be liked. I get this impression every time I go into Trump's energy that he really just wants the cool people to like me. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? So when I was talking to Trump, I felt when I was talking to Obama, when I sat as Trump, I wanted to impress him with how smart I was. I wanted to get him to laugh, which he was laughing, but I also wanted him to see that I had figured things out because I'm smart too. And Obama was laughing and correcting him and saying, no, that's not actually true. So it was an interesting conversation between Trump. There's a part of Trump that desperately wants to get in and be liked by the Democrats while simultaneously trashing them. He wants the Democrats to like him, but he's at the same time, he's trashing the Democrats. So it was very interesting to see that how badly Trump wanted to be liked. I'm sorry, I'm looking for these notes on the funeral. I'm having a real hard time finding them. I wonder if this is the wrong notebook. Hold on a second. It's strange. This is the notebook. For whatever reason, I can't find it. It was interesting to be in Hillary Clinton's energy, because I felt as Hillary Clinton completely shut down. And not only that, but I had had a discussion with my husband prior to the event. So Hillary Clinton had had a conversation with Bill prior to the event that we're not to talk to him, we're not to acknowledge him, and I don't want to argue with you about it. That's the way it's going to be. She really laid down the law with Bill Clinton, and I felt as Bill that I wanted to be part of the fun. I want to go say hi to my friend, Barack's over there. Yes, but if you say hi to Barack, you're going to have to say hi to Donald, and you don't talk to him. Okay, she said she's the boss. So Bill is sitting there. He's not happy about the situation, but she made her decision, and he has to stand by his wife, and that was her decision. So that is how I felt being Hillary. Being being Harris was different. Being Harris was different. When I put my attention on Harris, it was a completely different energy. I felt a fire inside me as Kamala Harris. I felt this rage, like a heat, like a fire, almost like a shock and horror. It was too soon after the elections for her to be in a situation like that, and I felt this like fire rising to the top of my head, wanting to scream from the rage that I felt. I felt rage at the fact that Trump was the president, and I had to hold it together as the vice president. And there was a point at which Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, said, "Are you okay? You doing?" "I'm fine." You know, he can pick up on that this rage she felt at having to sit there. So it was really interesting to feel that as well. It was funny. I had a brief connection with Bush Jr. I connected with his higher self, and I asked Bush Jr. how he felt being in the middle of all that. And he said, "I'm just glad that I'm not in the way of the firing squad." Now, this time I'm not in the way of the firing squad. I'm happy to be here. I'm just going to sit here with my wife. I'm not going to try and talk to this one. I'm not going to try. I'm happy to sit here quietly with my wife and be grateful that I'm not part of the firing squad. So everybody had their world at the funeral. Everybody had their world. Going back to Hillary Clinton, it was much deeper, the feeling I had for Hillary Clinton. I felt with Hillary Clinton that she had a deep faith in God, that this was a spiritual calling, that she talks to God, that she talks to Jesus, that she loves God, that she has a spiritual connection with God. And being in a church for her is a different experience than for somebody who doesn't have a personal relationship with God. But Hillary Clinton has a personal relationship, raised Methodist, with God. And when she is in the church as a devout Methodist, it means something to her. And her ethics and my ethics mean something to me. And my beliefs and my values mean something to me. And I can't just pretend that this guy didn't steal this election. Make nice and pretend that this guy didn't steal that election and this election, and didn't defraud and didn't commit this crime and that crime and everything else. That's how I felt as Hillary Clinton. And no, Bill, you are not going to talk to that man. I have my fucking values, pardon my French. That's what it is to be Hillary Clinton. And my mentor is dead. He was a true Christian. My mentor is dead. And I want to take a moment to sit in this church and have a relationship with my mentor who's dead and my connection to my creator in this church as a Christian, as a Methodist, who is mourning the death of my mentor. That is what I'm doing here. And listen, and it was a wonderful service. And the music was well chosen. And I felt the sacredness of my faith and the sacredness and the dignity of the man that we were laying to rest that day as Hillary. So that's an interesting insight into her dynamics as a human being, isn't it? Because she's fixed. She has a fixed sense of right or wrong, and there's no wiggle room with her. Whereas others, let's just talk to him. Let's just, come on. He won the election, like Obama. Let's go over and talk to him. Come on, shake hands. No, because he is still the same person. So it's interesting to see how everybody dealt with it. And the pressure on Hillary Come on, be a team player. Be a team player with this guy? Very interesting. Be interesting to see what the audience thinks. Do you think that she's right? Do you think that she's wrong? Do you think she should have gone over and said, hey, the past is the past, and shaken his hand? You're in her head. You feel her thoughts. You see her thoughts. Do you agree or not agree? Did she make the right decision? Is she going to stand there on the mountain and say, I'm going to fricking go down with my ethics and my morals and my values, and I will not shake that man's hand? Because I know who I am, and I know what I believe in, and I know what my mentor believed in. Let's talk about it. What do you think? Or would you be like Obama and just shake his hand? Let's have a conversation. Interesting. Discuss. Purposes to discuss. When we have these remotes, when we have these moments, we connect to somebody, want to get into their head, find out what we can learn from them, what we can learn about their view of the world. Do we agree with their view of the world? We don't have to agree with them. They're just human beings. But maybe we do. Do you shake the person's hand who you have moral and ethical problems with? In some situations, yes. In some situations, no. From Obama's perspective, it was what was good for the nation, because the nation needs to come together at this time with the funeral of somebody. A great man has died. So that was where Obama was coming from. So it's an interesting conversation. Okay, let's do it. We're going to go ahead and do the empath's prayer. If you would like to receive a healing at this time, would like us to include you in our prayers today, please let us know your name or the name of somebody you love, and we will pray for them as we bring in the empath's prayer and collective healing. And then we will blitz away. Okay. Excuse me. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. We want to send love, healing, energy to those who have requested a healing at this time. May you be healed in mind, body, and spirit. We also want to collectively come together and pray for those people who are in harm's way during the LA fires. We pray for their safety, that they be safe, that the firefighters stay safe, and everyone in that area be safe, and that the fires be put out quickly. And together collectively as a community, again, we say amen, amen, amen. All right, you guys have a lot of questions for me. We will blitz away. Also, quick announcement, the book of the month is 1001 Nights by F.L. Kalb. Please check that out if you would like to be participate in our Book of the Month Club. Also, if you have a book that you have written and you would like to have us feature it on our Book of the Month Club after Taco Tuesdays, you can send it to me, care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson at 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. Information is below if you didn't catch the address. All right, let's get to those questions. All right. Dried brush in LA. Yes, dried brush. Have you guys ever had salmon on mesquite? It's delicious. We have it. It's one of the things that, they do it in alder in Washington and Oregon. We use alder wood, and cedar. We do cedar here. We cook it on cedar, but they use mesquite there. It's a wonderful smell. You can smell the mesquite when people are preparing to make the salmon in that part of the world. It smells so good. All right. So how was Trump and Melania at the funeral today? As Melania, I felt like I was sick. She was ill and she had a digestive problem. And I think she should have stayed home because when I went into her energy, I'm sick. I'm like, oh, no wonder she's being so quiet. She's just sitting there like this. It's not because it's not for any other reason than the fact that she just didn't feel well. She was just like, I don't feel good today. I think she may be having a health challenge, and some of her health challenges may be private. So I didn't want to snoop too much, but she wasn't feeling well. So send her, I send her, even though I don't agree with the politics of her husband, sending her healing, right? We don't want to see anybody be sick. Thank you for the donation, Kathleen O'Malley. Yes, Biden. Character matters, and it's not just something we can say. We can't just say character matters, but what Hillary was saying is that you have to, this is a great man's funeral, and gosh, it was as if she was saying that the old church is dead, those old values that she grew up with, and they aren't dead. It's just that people have kind of lost their way a little bit. Thank you, Martha M. Jeter. Appreciate that. But yeah, Hillary had, we have another donation here as well. Thank you so much to Thoreau Task Backwaters. Yes, cedar plank salmon. Lovely, lovely. Hey, cedar tree, clap your hands and walk with me. Yeah. Okay, so Trump and Melania at the funeral. A thief attempting to flee. I do feel, contrary to what he says, I do feel that Trump hates being hated by the Democrats. These were friends of his. He used to go to fundraisers with the Clintons. These were friends of his, and now they wish him dead. He doesn't want that. He wants his friends. These are the cool people. The Dems are the cool people. The only reason I'm being mean to them is because they don't love me anymore. You don't love me anymore. Duty face, right? You're a duty face. So this is a guy who he wants to flee like a thief. The thief who wants to flee. He didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be there. His opposition, Hillary, the Queen of Swords, inverted. She presented as inverted. She has her back to him. She has erased him. He ceases to exist. She doesn't want to give him any energy. She wants to put her attention towards her mentor and to her Methodist faith and listening to the church songs that I grew up with and connecting and grieving my mentor. That's what I care about, not this guy over here, right? So the Queen of Swords puts her back to you. You're dead to me. Ouch, ouch. That's gotta hurt. Hopes and fears for him. Four of Wands inverted. There's never going to be, he has destroyed this is the thing that upsets Trump the most. He has destroyed the relationship between himself and the Clintons forever. And he's not okay with that. He's not okay with this. He's not okay with the fact that she didn't want to talk to me. He's also unbelievably insecure, inverted health card. He's also unbelievably insecure where women are concerned. Why doesn't that woman like me? I need women to like me, right? Mommy went away, right? Did she not like me? She went to the hospital for a year, right? He has this idea, the woman who leaves him, he has this ideas about being abandoned by women. He's having a health crisis right now. He had an inverted page of cups. So there could be a health challenge with Trump that people are not aware of. He is having more and more periods, according to what is coming in, where Trump has to stop. And this is a concern. Four of Swords is to stop. It's to stop and meditate. I feel the Thief and then the Four of Swords. This is a guy who we may find that he has to stop what he is doing for 4 hours and recharge. This is the problem. As we get older and older and older, our body needs to recharge. We can't go, all night dancing until 4 a.m. and then wake at 8 a.m. and go to school and do finals. I mean, I remember college, right? Those days are gone. You can prop yourself up with amphetamines, but I would say that his body is shutting down. And the reason I say that is because of the juxtaposition we have here. We have a juxtaposition between an inverted Archangel Raphael, who is the hairbringer of health crisis associated with his immediate environment, which is a Four of Swords, which would suggest a need to stop and rest. And the problem is that it reminds me of the tortoise and the hare. He's going to run, and then stop. And then the tortoise keeps walking because you've got this Page of Pentacles with the Queen. He's not going to be able to. The Republicans are not going to be able to hold on because the job and the opposition fall. Because the job, the employment, the Archangel Gabriel falls in his opposition, which would be work. So his enemy is getting the work. So that is why I think that the Republicans will not last long. Unfortunately, there's global strife that he has to deal with that's coming in his near future. He has much grief. The biggest grief for him at the funeral was the fact that he felt that he had lost his friends, that the price he paid for politics was that nobody wants anything to do with him. People that he used to joke around with, people that he used to go to fundraisers in New York, DC fundraisers and hang out with the Clintons. So that's gone now, 5 of Cups. And it's never coming back. It's to grieve that which one has lost. It's so interesting for me as a remote viewer to go into someone like Donald Trump, because you would think he wins, he becomes the president, he wins. So what's the problem? But then when you go into the energy, this is not someone who feels like a winner. This is someone who feels like they've lost their friends. The cool kids don't want to have anything to do with him. Like, look, I've got to be the star in the school play. But meanwhile, all your friends want nothing to do with you. I've seen that in high school. We had a friend, she made it. She became the head. We all got jealous, and she became the star of the school play, but she lost all of her friends, right? Because people were jealous, right? But in this particular case, it has this aspect of him losing everything. It doesn't present as Trump winning. It presents as Trump being somebody who is grieving that which he has lost. Isn't that interesting? So not quite what we had expected, but yeah, he wants desperately to be liked. Isn't that isn't that really the takeaway that you have from him, is that he's somebody that wants to be liked? All right, let's keep, I'm going to keep going through these questions, seeing what else where are the rest of the questions? Joel. JFK assassination files declassified this year. Oh, that's interesting. Will JFK's assassination be declassified? So, not that, Oswald assassinated JFK. I believe that. But the question is, did they fail to adequately protect the president because they didn't like him? That's was the Secret Service lazy because they didn't particularly care for this president? Is that, because they're now revamped. They revamped a lot of security after his assassination. Oh, I forgot to do I missed a few. Let me try again. All right, the assassination of JFK. That which is hidden will be exposed. Yes, it will be exposed. There's a lot of files that had to be moved that were, they had old files of things that had to be moved from one section to the next. 10 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles. Yes, it will be released. What's weird is that things began to not, they had to go back to old archives. 10 of Wands is to carry like boxes, heavy loads, etc. But 9 of Pentacles, I would say yes, they will declassify the JFK assassination files. There's quite a few of them. You would think with a 10 of Wands kind of an energy, and also the need of moving things around. It's not that they can just expose them. They have to organize them. And that's going to take some time before they can be released to the general public. Will Harris run for governor of California? Let's take a look. There's a part of her that doesn't want to run for anything. I can tell you that right now. Will Harris run for president? Walking away from everything that she's built. Taking a job somewhere else. I see possible, wants to flee like a thief. She's got the power. There's a part of her that wants to go into the private sector after this. That maybe there are other ways she can help, that this may not pan out for her because going forward. And I say that because these cards would denote the possibility that she's not going to continue on for a number of reasons. For starters, walking away, 8 of Cups is to walk away from her legacy. It could be one of these things of, it's so obvious that that women cannot win the presidency, and it's just, there's a discrimination. Both the people that were defeated by Trump were women. Just the misogynism at play. But this idea of leaving everything, the opposition, taking a position, Page of Pentacles can be a job opportunity, a desire to flee. It's a part of her that wants to leave DC. And then final outcome is the Magician, being in a position of power. She will take the weapons of war away from her enemies. The job was given to her enemy, right? So Trump got the job, but Trump is entering into the time of the 4 of Pentacles. You know what's weird about Trump? He's always broke. How can a guy with this much money, people are constantly giving him money, and yet I need more money. Where the hell are you doing with all your money? One time I did a remote on Trump to try and figure out what the heck is this guy doing with his money. And you know what he was doing? He was paying salaries to keep the doors open for like the place in Scotland, the place in Durango or Dorado, whatever that place is called. So his places are not doing well and they're in the red. And so he pours massive amounts of money in them to keep them open so that he'll look successful. He needs the money to prop up the image. Isn't that? None of his properties seem to be making money, or they're not making much. And so he has to pour massive amounts of money into these private clubs to keep the doors open. Rocky waters lay ahead for Donald Trump. Rocky waters lay ahead. His final outcome is an inverted Six of Swords, which would be that he's headed straight towards a disaster. The other thing I would say is something is going to happen that possibly involves Harris that could cost Trump, because the opposition is frightened, pulled back, and because she's stirring the waters, and there's something coming up where we could be seeing Harris involved in something that undermines or takes down Trump, because Trump's cards are terrible. They indicate that he's going to have nothing but problems. Not only that, but he's not going to be able to fix the economy, because the problems of the economy have to do with global warming. Stuff doesn't grow the way it used to. Civil unrest. So war, global warming and war, etc. So these things he can't fix that. And that's what he's going to do this. Living in a la-la land, as if one person can do those things. It's going to be massive overhaul. Like, remember we had talked about, when I go into the energy, I keep seeing the new green economy, massive construction, every time I go into a remote, we get like 7 of Pentacles, just work, harvesting work, green economy, the new green economy. And we see what's happening in California. It's just going to be, they're going to have to not only reconstruct the area, but they're going to construct it very differently, because it is a fire risk. So they're not going to be able to build homes the way that they once did. Yeah. So, and it goes back to those ideas that have come up of how everything changes, and we start seeing massive growth in the economy associated with building infrastructure. One of the things I also saw in the future, and I couldn't really explain why, I don't really see the future, but I see trends, was the new green economy, massive building, and getting away from regulations that were inhibiting building, like some of the building codes that were obstructing building. So what's happened in California, that's the kind of a thing that could force people to look at more efficient ways, because so much building is going to be happening so rapidly. So expect rapid green rebuilding, 3D building, eco-friendly building that can withstand these types of situations, and expect to see a massive new green economy. That's what I can predict for the future. And it's not just California. The whole country is going through this because of changes. What I predict is that a couple of things are going to be going on with the economy, and a couple of things are going to be going on with the United States because of the new green economy. We kind of fulfilled it when Biden passed the, $1 trillion green package that goes until like 2035 or whatever, when they're going to be doing all of this. So that was part of that vision. The second part is we have to get rid of the regulation that is just paperwork that doesn't serve anything, right? Streamline it. And that's probably going to happen. There were a couple of other changes I found in the United States when I went forward. There is very likely going to be in the future a disarming of nuclear weapons by the United States in the not so distant future. This was something that really surprised me when I went into the energy about the new green America, was that they would voluntarily announce that they were pulling back and discontinuing their nuclear weapons programs, and that they would be dismantling all of their nuclear weapons. And the reason why the United States goes in that direction is because with new war technology, with the new technology, they come to realize that nuclear weapons do not deter us from war and actually put the entire world at risk. They make us a target and they put everybody else at risk. And so instead, the United States is going to move towards defense and protecting its borders through shields, etc. And those are far more effective ways to protect the United States than something like retaliatory nuclear a strike or something like that. So that was kind of a nice thing to see, that we would evolve if we can survive these scary times, that we would evolve to a place where we realize that really nuclear weapons with the new technology and space force, where it's all about defending ourselves and shooting down missiles before they shoot us, that when you think about it, having nuclear weapons really doesn't do anything to deter or protect the United States. So we could see a nuclear disarmament in our lifetimes for that reasons, and sign that contract and encourage other nations to disarm as well, because all it did was put us in global threat of a nuclear disaster and did nothing to protect our country or anybody else's. And instead, the focus seems to be on shields and defense, which are better for the planet and better for everybody. So that was one of the other things that I wanted to mention that I saw in the coming years over the United States, was that we would probably be moving towards disarmament. An exciting vision that I had about the United States had to do with a co-relationship that is beginning to form between the U.S. and small businesses. If you've ever seen Shark Tank, you guys like Shark Tank? I had a vision that the United States would begin to work like Shark Tank in the new green economy. So you have the business sharks in the United States running the government, and we're the sharks, and the U.S. government is going to pay to promote, build your business, and in exchange, you're going to give us a portion of the profits, and we're going to use those profits to pay down the U.S. debt and to rebuild the country. So are you going to take that Shark Tank deal? It was a very strange vision. And it was kind of like you had these people showing up and it's like, I sell muffins and I would like to be able to sell muffins at the local whatever. All right, we'll give you $20,000 for your muffins. We'll promote your muffins, and then you will pay us $5, and that will go towards paying down the national debt. So buy Jane's muffins, and then you get a little stamp that says, I'm part of the U.S. program to pay down the U.S. debt. Would you like to buy my muffins? And then they get all this advertising, etc. Then I also had a vision of like events where you had these annual kinds of, what's the word I'm looking for? Markets. You had like markets and events and conferences and expos. That's the word I'm looking for. You had these massive expos that were happening that were funded by the U.S. government and by the states in order to fund small businesses that were green, that met the standards of the U.S. government in terms of the new green economy. And then people were going to these expos so that they could partner in business with the U.S. And this is how the United States was able to use the new green economy to save itself and save its citizens. Isn't that a crazy vision? I hope it happens, and I would look forward to participating, and I would definitely buy those muffins, right? I would love to show up at some expo where everything is being funded by the US government, buy from these small local American businesses and help pay down the national debt and help launch someone's small business. So I just thought that was a really great idea. And it can be done at the state level, it can be done at a city level, but also on the federal level. And it's probably something that we will be seeing in the coming years as a way for the government to make money without making the making the American people feel put upon, right? Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all I have for excuse me. I think that's all I have for you today. We've been here for over an hour. Oh, I'm just reading some of your comments. All right. If you're trying to get in for a tarot card reading, excuse me, sorry about the cough today. It's worse than usual. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find the information below. If you just have a quick 5-minute Wizio, that question, that you can get that through Wizio, and then I make a quick video for you and I send it to you. All right, that's all I have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye, you guys. Love you guys. See you next time.